so lame. Foot on the gas, no propane. New to you goofies, no low name. You got money, but got no game. I got the respect way before fame. Got no regrets, I got no shame. Taking over, about to go insane. I thought they told ya, I'm a neighborhood soldier. Pops told me when I walk around, act like they already know ya.
Oh man. First of all, for the three people on this screen, good morning. All right. But to everybody else, welcome to the Always Climbing Podcast. We're here with another beautiful episode. This is a crazy episode. All right. We got a crazy guest. We got my boy David Bates, aka David Goggins, aka Devin Bates. A man of many names. All right, a man of many names. And we got my boy D Allen, aka Mr. Goose Spiggity. And y'all gonna learn more about that later. All right. And we got your typical two hosts, myself, Bryce, and Jovan. All right. First of all, I want y'all to like, comment, share, subscribe, favorite, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Click the notification bell, everything, because we don't want y'all to miss any of this beautiful content every single week. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram. You know the drill. All right. And again, we just want to continue to promote this Future Climbers project that our program that we got going on in the city of Akron. Okay. So shout out to those kiddos. Be on the lookout on our Instagram and our TikTok. We're going to start sharing a little bit about those kids so you guys can get to know what type of kids we really are dealing with. We were dealing with some rock stars. I know that for sure. Climber of the week. We don't have any climbers of the week. All right. I told y'all got to let us know. Show us what's going on in the city. So my question to my two cutties, David and Divorce, do y'all have any climbers of the week or do we move on? Y'all got anybody that's just been grinding? Anybody y'all want to give a shout out to that's just been in their bag? Any companies, any up and coming companies, any individuals? Any
it's somebody, he's in the military actually. His name Urena. So to me, that's my climber. That's my sailor. He came in the Navy not too long ago. And actually it's nice that you say that because he was doing something repeatedly every single day. He came up to me the other day. He was like, he said, like, what am I doing this for? You know what I mean? Like, it's such a small little task, right? But later on, like earlier on this week, he got recognized for it because, it wasn't a small task. It was something that people higher up were looking at, but it seemed small to him. So that just go to show, like, no matter what you do, if you do it to the best of your abilities, eventually you're going to reap the benefits from that.
Period.
This might be stereotypical, but for me, recently, I would say my wife, actually, she's a therapist, went to grad school, kind of still trying to find her lane through the therapy or the therapy world, but she's getting close to the end of her residency. So pretty soon here, by the middle of the year, she'll be able to practice on her own. So not having to be under anybody, not have to report anybody. She decides she can open up her own practice.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's huge.
Love it.
Yeah, she works, Monday through Friday, adapting to her client schedules. Having to have a job, you got to listen to somebody's problems, all day and help them figure out their problems, put their problems first. It's very selfless. So
No doubt.
I think I could do it, but to the extent that she does it, I don't know how she does it. So
I'm hearing power couple, huh?
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Mr. and Mrs. Smith dealing with debates, but anyway, man, them is two climbers, man. That's what I'm saying. Them is some true climbers. So I'm glad y'all adapting on the fly, and it's a beautiful thing to see that y'all got somebody in y'all life that's shedding that climbing mentality. All right, so that's dope because I couldn't find anybody. I couldn't think of anybody. I mean, I already shouted out some people in my life. We do this every week. But that's why we encourage any listeners, if y'all know somebody or a company or anything, any student, company, regular plain old person that's on a grind, that's really climbing, that's doing the same thing we about, which is no excuses, right? Having that discipline, Focus
Absolutely.
on you. Keep that same energy. Any of these topics that you see, if you see somebody that represents that, let us know. Hit us up on
Yeah.
Instagram, DM us, comment on this video, whatever. All right. Let us know about somebody so we can give them a shout out. Now, today, we're going to talk about a couple things, but the main thing is we're going to learn about my guy, David Bates. We're going to learn about the type of lifestyle this guy lives. All right. Not to get into too much mushy gushy, details on my boy D, but I couldn't be more proud of this guy. This is definitely somebody I look up to, somebody I always have looked up to. Going to the University of Toledo with this guy, working with him, becoming best friends with this guy, learning his routine, learning his mentality, learning what he's really about, learning his values. This is an incredible guy. This is definitely somebody that the whole world needs to know about for sure. So, D Bates, man, give us a quick introduction of where you from, what you rep. Tell us about, what school you went to and now what job you do.
I appreciate the introduction. I promise you, I'm a normal guy. I don't do nothing special, do nothing crazy. From the Akron Canton area, went to the University of Toledo, was roommates with Divorce freshman year. I met Bryce freshman year. We all been great friends since then. Honestly, I didn't have this path planned for myself, I would say, until I got to college. Before then, I was in high school taking all engineering courses. I wanted to be an architect so bad. Not sure why. I think I just love, buildings and, the way things were laid out, beautiful homes. My dad did a lot of side work with his hands too. So I think that's kind of where I found that niche at. But then I went to, my senior year of high school and realized how much math was involved. And that kind of was like, yeah, I'm gonna chill on this. And then I kind of went to college, started looking at what I wanted to do with my life. My parents built themselves up to have a lifestyle that, that I wanted to have for myself, if not better. My dad always told me, I work hard, not so you can get to where we are at today or where I'm at today, so you can do better than what I'm doing, So for the whole US Marshals, avenue, it didn't happen until I got injured in high school playing football. And I was on the couch, one weekend, I was on crutches, and I had to watch this movie called The Fugitive on TV. It was like an old movie from like the 90s, maybe. Wesley Snipes was in it.
I think I heard of that. I ain't seen it
Wesley
yet.
Snipes was in it. So, I was back in his era, whatever. But it's about him running from the US Marshals, whatever. Billy Bob Thornton, I think, is the marshal in the movie. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. But I was like, man, these dudes are, go-getters. He came onto the scene, basically took over the scene looking for this fugitive who escaped on accident. He escaped on purpose, but escaped on accident, So I kind of was like, man, that'll be a dope job. And I would say it was freshman year of college. I'm embarrassed to say this. It's like this night class that was easy. I was like, I can read the PowerPoints and get an A on the class. All right. So there might have been a couple times where I didn't go to this class, regrettably. But this one time I did go to this class, a deputy from up there in Toledo, who's a supervisor, he came and did, at this night class, came and did like a little introduction on the Marshal service, whatever. Told us about what they did, who they were, where they were located at. They're located everywhere in the United States. We have offices in Guam, Puerto Rico. We have foreign field offices as well that we're still establishing everywhere. But anyways, talked about the Marshal Service, fell in love with it even more. I had almost forgot about the movie by this time. So talks about the Marshal Service, fall in love with it, take down his information. He starts telling us about how to do internships. So take down his information, and like 6 months later, into my freshman year, I hit him up like, hey, I would love to do an internship, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, that's awesome, but you're not eligible yet. You have to be a certain age. You have to be in a certain grade in your college career. I think I hit this guy up like 3 or 4 more times, like every 2 months, begging for an internship. Finally gave me one. I ended up doing like a 4-month internship. They invited me back. I ended up doing almost 8 to 9 months as an intern there, back to back for the whole school year, leading to my last school year. And that's kind of how the Marshall path came along. But
what made you push through and persevere and keep begging him for that internship? Because most people would just give up. Most people would ask maybe twice and be like, all right, bro, I don't think he really rocking with me.
right. So honestly, in the criminal justice field, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And once I seen this profession, I was like, oh man, this is absolutely what I want to do. I don't know anything else I want to do. And so there was really no plan B per se. It was just always this plan A. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. So, up until then, I'm gonna have to figure it out, so I can get there. So
I think that's just D-Base though. He always been persistent. Like
Yeah.
whenever he got something on his head, in his mind, he's just gonna keep going for it.
Absolutely. Parents wouldn't have it any other way, So just the way I was raised.
So we was joking for anybody watching or listening. We were joking. I spent a lot of time in college with David, and like D-Base, even with the internship, even with graduation and stuff, he graduated early, right? This is a guy with determination. So y'all make sure y'all take notes because we about to get into it, and I want you to learn something today. All right, but graduated early from college, right? Did the internship, double duty of the internship. Not everybody even does that. Not everybody even does an internship, period. And then David and I, we both worked at the grounds crew together, right? So we worked at the grounds crew together. I worked for money and that's it. I just worked, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't here to impress nobody. You tell me to cut grass, I'm going to try and cut grass as fast as I can, like a contractor would, right? So I can go back and lay down. That's it. D-Base was a steward, a true steward, right? So Base, we gotta go cut that grass. D-Base gonna make sure every blade is cut right. You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, D-Base ends up being able to be in a position where they trust him to basically be a manager, literally. Like the manager got hurt. What happened to him?
He broke his ankle, yeah.
Bro broke his ankle, and next thing you know, D-Base is really running a whole campus by himself. Like literally.
That's crazy.
Literally. And then he would literally to the point where he had to call the main campus manager and ask for people to come help him. You know who would come though. You know what I'm saying? But next thing you know, D-Base telling me what to do. Like, yeah, bro, let's go. We gotta go do this. I'm like, bro, you really are the same age as me, and you running a whole campus. This is the type of person we dealing with now. This is the type of person that y'all can learn something and really realize what your potential is. All right. Mm-hmm. So with the US Marshals, D-Base, a lot of people don't know what the US Marshals is, bro. Even myself, when you would say US Marshal, I'm like, is he you kept saying it like in college. I never searched it. So I'm like, is bro about to trying to be an FBI agent? Is he a glorified police officer? Is he just a state trooper? Like, what is a US Marshal? So a lot of people don't know what that is, man. I did my research now, but just go ahead and explain that piece. Like, what's the difference between all of these different career paths and what makes US Marshal special for you?
So right there with you, I think a lot of us our age, even maybe people a little bit older than us, have no clue what the US Marshals do. If you hear marshals, sometimes they think, oh, the air marshals or whatever. It's totally separate profession. We're the oldest law enforcement agency in the US. First one actually established 1789, September 1789 with the Judiciary Act. We have a huge amount of function that we do. So the big one is fugitive apprehension. So going out looking for violent fugitives. These guys commit violent crimes, get cases put against them, arrest warrants put out. Sometimes these guys flee, go hide in other countries. They can hide here in the US. So we're in charge of finding them wherever they may be at, whether they're stateside or, somewhere where we can extradite them from. So, for instance, like we had a guy recently who went down to Mexico. So he got arrested down there. We got sent down there to extradite him back to the US. So he's in their custody down there. They let us know, whatever, fly down, pick him up and bring him back to the the district where his case is out of, so he can be brought before a judge. Some other stuff we do is we provide security to federal judges and all the federal courthouses around the U.S. So there's 94 districts. I want to say there's 400 plus courthouses, I would say. So, providing security for the judges while at the courthouse, and then also, at their homes, they're under our protection at all times. We're also the custodians and security for all federal prisoners in the U.S. government. So we're in control of bringing the prisoners to court, actually to the courthouse, transferring them from whatever facility they're at, whether it may be by van, bus. We also have, there's a movie called Con Air. Yeah, I think it's a Bruce Willis movie about like
Con Air.
Con Air, you ever heard of it?
I feel like I've heard of that.
No, I thought that was like a hair company.
Con Air.
No, Con Air. It's like it's a movie. I think it's a Bruce Willis movie about like prisoners on this flight going from one location to another. Something happens, whatever. But that's like a legit thing. We call it JPATS flights. So we're the only agency who does this, but it is a commercial flight for only prisoners. So we have actually deputies and staff who fly these airlines. And so if you have a prisoner who has a case out in California, he's coming from Ohio. Once he finishes his case here in Ohio or whatever, he'll hop on the JPAT flight and they'll transfer him over to California. He will be received by the Marshals or facilities out there. So that's another thing that we do as far as like getting the prisoners to and from where they need to go.
I didn't even know that.
So that's another crazy thing we do. Yeah. It's very low key, seizing assets. So, a lot of the big cases like the RICO cases or even smaller cases that aren't RICO cases where you have an enterprise who, either through selling drugs, narcotics, or any type of illegal means, they gain a bunch of money, cars, houses. It could be anything. Animals, honestly, that's another thing. Some people, get rich and famous, or not even famous, just rich and buy like exotic animals. We are the agency whose sole responsible is to seize those assets and divvy them back out. So we have a bunch of houses, cars, guns, animals that are in our possession from these cases where, these people gathered those through illegal means. So we're in charge of divvying those back up, divvying those back to the community. The victims of the violent crimes, whatever, that goes to their funds. Another thing that's pretty cool that we're in charge of is witness security. WITSEC is what we call it. That's where, we have, say you have somebody who has some information or used to be part of a criminal organization, and for whatever reason, they want to come forward, tell what they have to tell, but there will be repercussions for that. Basically they're snitching. So there'll be repercussions, maybe they'll come after them, try to get them killed or whatever. If they meet a certain criteria, they can be put into WITSEC, where basically you get a new name, new identity. They move you to a new location, help you with employment services, all that. So
that must be for like serious situations, huh? Like,
yeah,
like I got some info. You know what I'm saying? But y'all gotta help me out.
No, yeah, absolutely. This is for like major criminal enterprises where this happens. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this. Your watchers may have to do their own research. I believe it started in Cleveland with the mob stuff in Cleveland and Chicago and stuff like that. So in New York, so like a lot of these ex-mob guys, had information, wanted protection, and it would be put in WITSEC for it. So it's another cool thing we do. A newer thing that we're doing right now is the missing children investigation. So looking for missing children, whether it's kids that are runaways that can be put in dangerous situations, or kids that are being sex trafficked or work labor trafficked. So that's something else that we have been doing, day to day, where we have people, that's their specialty. And then also, along with the fugitive apprehension, we have SOIC. There are sex offender apprehension guys who, their sole purpose is to make sure these sex offenders are staying in compliance. They're not moving where they shouldn't be moving, living where they shouldn't be living. they do, we're in charge of putting the case on them, apprehending them, and taking them back to jail. Keeping the community and children, safe. So it's a couple main functions that we do. But
So
yeah,
couple.
yeah,
He
that
said
sounds
a
like a lot.
couple.
He said
That
a
is-
couple.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot.
Wow.
But
That sounds like it's not enough time in the day.
Right. He could
no.
still go on, I feel like.
No, yeah,
How come you ain't at work right now?
What is that?
How come you ain't at work right now on one of them
I
J
know,
flights
right?
or whatever?
Probably should be. There's a lot of stuff to do. Always something to do at work. So
Yeah. I never even heard of like all to that much detail of what you did. So I appreciate that insight.
yeah, no problem.
Now I know the training for that got to be crazy. Can you go into like exactly what that looks like and that process?
So you go through the whole hiring process. They do a background. You're going to talk to your previous employers, current employers, family members, neighbors, your neighbors. Yeah, your friends. I'm sure
They came to my apartment, y'all. They came all the way to my apartment.
Yeah. So they come and talk to everybody, make sure you're a good person, a person with integrity. They want to make sure you're a clean person. You don't want to hire, somebody who is not a good person, who may have some criminal charges or anything like that. To go through the whole hiring process, you go through a medical examination, which is just like your basic, you do it every year. Physical. And then you have a fit test. The fit test is a 1.5 mile run, a minute of as many push-ups you can do, a minute as many sit-ups you can do, and then you do a sit and reach, the little box you sit and reach in. So there's standards for everybody's age, male, female. Past that, then you go down to the academy. The academy is down in Glencoe, Georgia. It's 18 to 20 weeks, depending on when you go. Glencoe is a old military base, so it's all fenced in. The Glencoe is so big that it has its own zip code. It's crazy. It's like its own city within a confined space, fenced in space. So the Marshals are down there. There's a bunch of other federal agencies down there, BOP, Bureau of Prisons, HSI is down there, ATF's down there. So basically down there you take your courses. So it's like college, with guns and other extensive training. So take defensive tactics, you take criminal law, you take your firearms training, pretty much all your law training that you can possibly imagine. You get down there, they set you up for success. You learn how to run a criminal case down there. So take multiple tests while you're down there. I think we took 4 or 5 written tests. They have a lot of practical PEs that you take down there, hands-on things that they teach you that you got to pass the PE for. So whether it may be a driving PE, like, all right, you got to do this driving course, you got to get, such a good grade on this. Your firearms PE, shooting your pistol, your rifle, you got to get it passing score to graduate. So basically, the academy day to day is getting up. You're doing some type of workout every day. You got some type of classes, 8-hour classes every day.
Is every day truly every day, like Sunday to Sunday?
No. So down there, I'm glad you asked that. So it's Monday through Friday. I think our day started at 7:30. We ended at 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Sometime in between there, your instruction staff might come pay you a visit. Might be some push-ups being done, some type of running. Whether it's during the day, in between classes, before classes, after classes. So you're getting taught by the FLETC staff down there, who are full-time staff members there on the base, or you're getting taught by your agency-specific staff. For me, it was Marshal Service staff who would teach me how to do things the Marshal Service way, basically. Yeah, so it's Monday through Friday, weekends off. Spent a couple holidays down there. I went through during the COVID time. So interestingly enough, there's not many of us who went through the same time I went through. But when I went down there in November of 2020, I was not able to leave until March of 2021. So spent Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, my birthday, all down there in Georgia. But you have a class comprised of, I would say, 48 think it's 48 is the max you can have in a class. Yeah, honestly, by the time you get out of there, you guys are all like brothers and sisters. You can talk to anybody about anything.
Mhm.
You got people from everywhere. I had a classmate from Puerto Rico, Montana, California. Never met somebody from Dakotas before. I had classmates from North and South Dakota, you know. And then you also got people going everywhere. So had a dude from Puerto Rico going to Oklahoma. You can imagine the culture shock that he had, you know. So you kind of, by the time you graduate and everybody goes their separate ways, you got friends everywhere in the US. So
Mhm. That's dope.
Now, in
yeah.
the academy, did all of you guys make it through, or was there like a set number that had to graduate?
No, so the goal is for everybody to make it through, but everybody doesn't make it through. So whether you fail, you know, a PE, you know, whether you fail your firearms or your driving, whether you fail your fit test, you know, you have an initial fit test, the same one I told you about before that you take when you get there. You got to pass it by the time you graduate. Whether you fail a written test too, you know, those can be tough. There's a lot of information that you need to retain, especially when it comes to you know, to the law, because you don't want to violate people's rights. So we have to really make sure that people are understanding, you know, what you can and can't do within this profession. So a lot of people, you know, sometimes fail those as well. You get retakes, but some people don't always pass the retakes as well. So I want to say in my class, we lost just to failing some like people who actually got dismissed from training and couldn't come back. I think we lost like 4. So it does happen. So you have to, after hours is literally on you. So, you know, you can work out after hours, you can study after hours, or you can do nothing after hours. You can go back to your room, play the game, and just chill, you know, and not worry about it. So, you know, a lot of us got together. I have my close group of friends who I still talk to this day. We all worked out, made study guides, going to the library, and it's basically like college all over again, you know, where it's up to you. Your success is up to you. So
Now, do I remember this correctly that you were pretty young in comparison to
yes,
your peers?
yes. So I was 22. I was 22 down there. I was me and my one friend. We were the 2 youngest by at least 2 years compared to everybody else. You got so one of the hiring things is you have to be at the age of 37 or under 37 by the time you graduate the academy, unless you have some type of specific military waiver. So we had one guy, 1 or 2. I know one for sure who had a military waiver, and because he was in the military, you know, and served, he couldn't go straight to the academy, you know. So he was 43 going through. He passed and everything, did an awesome job actually, you know. But yeah, we were fairly young. You know, a lot of us, some people have a bunch of experience, whether it's military, police experience, or whatever. Some people are straight out of college. Like one of my good friends who, like I said, was my age. He was straight out of college, first or second real big boy job out of college. So yeah.
Got you. Divorce, what was, why my camera tripping? Hold on, Kyle.
Yeah,
I was
you got
about
a
to say,
little
you a
blurry
little cloudy
a little
right now.
bit.
I said, I'm saying Divorce, what, let me see if I can fix it. But Divorce, what was your experience like in your academy?
No, it's honestly
And let people know who you are and what you do too, for those that don't know.
Just remind
Oh
them one
yeah,
time.
I'm divorced. I'm not new to this group. We've been together since high school, of course. Me and D Bates, when we went to college together, he was my roommate. I only went to college for 1 year though. D Bates kept going. But instead of finishing college, I joined the US Navy. I'm in college now, but I joined the Navy. But hearing D Bates talk about, you know, his training, it sounds pretty similar to us, honestly, because you have your 8 to 10 week boot camp right off the bat, where you're learning instructions, you're learning how to be in the military, how to be a sailor. You're also, you have class time where you're learning about different manuals, different processes and procedures. And then after that, so that's about 8 to 10 weeks. You're working on your physical conditioning and stuff like that. And then after that, you go to what we call a school. It's called apprenticeship school, where I was there for 13 weeks, but every rating is different in the Navy. So some people may be there for a couple of weeks, but I was there for 13, and you're pretty much learning how to not only. So boot camp is where you learn how to be a sailor, how to be in the military, and then this apprenticeship school is where you learn how to do your job in the Navy. So that was 13 weeks, and then after that, you get deployed. And obviously, I'm in Bahrain, in the Middle East, and where I'm actually doing my job and getting real world experience doing that. So it sounds pretty similar to debates, except for we're not in the same area. It sounds like you were on that base for what, 5 months, 6 months. At least with us is 2 or 3 schools separated in between those 5 or 6 months going to different locations.
Oh, okay.
Well,
This is off topic.
Go ahead,
I don't mean to go too off board, but the words, did y'all have a hell week? Did you have to do a hell week?
It's not a hell week. It's not a hell week. It is more like, actually, I can't really talk too much about it. It's called like battle stations. It's at the end of the 8-week boot camp. And pretty much everything that you learn through those 8 weeks, it's almost a simulated. I was trying to see because kind of limited on what we can say with that.
You basically get put to the test.
Yeah, you get put to the test, and with that comes like literally you don't sleep for about 48 to I think it's 56 hours. You actually don't sleep. And you're consistently going from one task to the next. It's like, okay, this happened. Okay, this happened. And it's just consistent testing you on what you've learned. You're up for about 56 hours straight. It gets difficult, but by the time you're done with it, you're a Navy sailor, like you're a sailor.
Yeah. I remember when
that's
I was
probably a
playing
good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
I remember playing at Temple. They had the program. They would come in, they were like former Navy SEALs, and they kind of put us through like that kind of training for 2 days and gave us like 2 hours of sleep. Came in the next morning and did the same routine, but it was all detail oriented and just listening. The whole workout was scheduled for an hour, took 8 hours.
Yeah, man, that's
crazy.
It's tough. I mean, I can only imagine what SEALs go through. I wouldn't say it's necessarily difficult. It's just very, you up for a long time. About a I want to say about a 40th hour or something. You kind of,
well,
it's tough.
What's today?
All right.
Yeah.
They start running together.
What's either of y'all can share? I'm curious on both of y'all stories, man. Like during that training time, during that academy time. We'll start with you, D-Base. What's the number one thing you learned? Like, what's the number one life lesson you learned? I'm sure you learned a lot about yourself and a lot about life, but if you had to pick one, what's the number one thing that you took from that experience?
So I feel like a lot of the times you hear this, that your body will give up before your mind does, or maybe I have that flipped around. Whatever, like you'll hear something that you have to do, some kind of task, or like we have these Marshall challenges where they make us do some crazy, physical activity. So you'll hear about a task you got to do, and like, there's no way I can do this. Like you're already doubting yourself from the beginning. Like you've never done it before. You've never taken your body or mind to that spot before. So you'll be like, dang, like there's no way I can do this. Like you think this is the thing that's going to get you kicked out, or this is the thing that you're not going to complete. And, being there with, your brothers and sisters, your classmates, seeing, like looking left and right, like, all right, well, they're struggling too. That makes them no different than me. We're all just people. So, you really learn to dig deep and see where you can take your body while being down there in the academy, because you have no choice on that. If you want to pass, you gotta really dig deep. So that was some of the lessons I learned. You thought you're going to do your regular stuff that you do, working out like in the gym, your regular exercises, but they really put you to the test mentally and physically down there to, some people reach their breaking point. Some people get to those breaking points and push through. Some people don't. So I really got to see a side of myself that I didn't think I had, that was able to just grind through, the events, like we used to break down the days, like, especially you have a hard day, like, all right, well, I got to make it to lunch. all right, I made it to lunch. You eat lunch. You're sitting there at the lunch table, like, all right, got to make it to dinner now. So breaking down those days, the minutes, the hours, the events throughout the day to get to where to the end. So I think that's something that I learned while being down there during my couple months of training.
So be present, but still have your eyes on the end goal at the same time.
Yeah, 100%.
Like everything you do has to be towards that end goal
with a purpose.
Yeah.
Yep. With the
That's
purpose.
hard.
Just your struggle is no more worse than the person next to you struggling. You guys are all struggling. Don't feel bad for yourself. That's something they always say. Like, stop feeling bad for yourself. Just get through it.
Mhm.
What's feeling bad for yourself going to do? It's going to make you want to quit.
So this is kind of on the topic, but one thing that I found myself really enjoying as an athlete was, funny enough, bro, David Goggins says it, like taking people's souls, like
taking souls,
in a not in a lot more juvenile way, but when I was, same thing you said, like just that mindset of like, I know other people are going through what I'm going through. That would give me so much fire and make me more competitive, because I would look at their face and their face expression and their them feeling sorry for themselves was everything I needed to be like, I ain't sweet. That ain't me. Like,
right.
But I would, even though I was tired in my spirit, I would just find something extra in my body and I would be like, man, you good over there? You straight? I'm tired as a mud. You good? Let's go, man. Come on.
Right.
And they would be like, bro, Bryce is
crazy.
So
and bugging.
So I can relate to that, man. It's just that little bit of just understanding, like, other people are going through what you're going through. That's huge. What about you, D. Allen? What you learned, man?
For me, it was I learned a lot of like personal things about myself, which helped me. Before I joined the Navy, I feel like I was I don't even recognize myself if I was to think back about before I joined the Navy. I think I definitely, like, boot camp itself allowed me to grow out of my shell, because you're put into like leadership positions. When I was in boot camp, I was a RPOC. Y'all may not know what that is, but it's like you're the leader of your division. So you're leading your division the whole time. You're making sure everybody is on time to what we need to get to. Like, you're leading the division. My division had about 90-some people, and every day is just a task. And I learned a lot of stuff about myself, and I also learned that you can't do anything alone. Like, you need a good team around you to accomplish a goal. In boot camp, you're set up to fail. Like, you're set up to fail. Like, there's no task in boot camp you're going to pass at. And I know that sounds crazy, but literally, if they tell you if you got to run a mile and a half, right, and let me say a crazy time. Let me say they say 10 minutes, and you run it in 10 minutes, you get in trouble because you didn't run it in 9. So, like, no matter what, you did not do good enough until that day where I told you go through battle stations, and you've been thinking you fell in the whole time. You've been thinking you fell in the whole time. And then the last day, battle stations, you do it, you still think you fell, and then it's like, like, you get that sense of, okay, like, everybody, like the RDCs, which is the recruit divisions commanders, they like, man, y'all did a good job. Like, y'all, you know what I'm saying? So this
I would be like, bro, what?
It's crazy. It's crazy. The sense of satisfaction you get after failing repeatedly and then getting it, it. And you can't be successful without having a good team and everyone doing like their part. So I learned a lot about trusting other people. And because sometimes, even before the Navy, I would like to, take things by myself, carry things on my own. And I learned that you can't do that. And I've learned some stuff about me, as well as like how to be a leader. I won't go too deep into that, but I learned a lot about, my leadership style, and how I operate around other people, and that you just learn a lot of stuff about yourself, pretty much. I think boot camp is more of figuring out who you are individually and then using that for the betterment of the team.
Period.
I like that. To piggyback off something Devorah said, as far as like, I feel like I was in an environment as well where they set you up for failure. They set you up to gripe within your class, like they'll give you a task like, hey, it's funny because they'll even ask you, like, you'll have some kind of task, like, hey, you got to put up that equipment. Like, how much time do you need to put up that equipment? Mr. Bates, how much time you need? Oh, like 5 minutes? Or you got a minute, 30 seconds, go. So now everybody's scrambling, to go do it, and then they probably don't count the whole, yeah, they probably don't even count the whole minute, 30 seconds. Minute goes past, you're getting yelled at. All right, on the line, or all right, bear crawl, or your next exercise will be the push-up, the sit-up, the squat, whatever. So you're constantly going through that, getting smoked, is what we call it, getting smoked. Any type of physical activity, you're getting smoked or whatever. And, it's angry, there's tension between the group because you just want to be done. This is unfair, whatever. And they want to see you, they want to see what that's going to bring out of you. Are you going to start being one of those person who bickers between you and your classmates? Or are you going to be a leader who, like, hey, let's push through this guys and girls and get through this iteration of training, So that's definitely
that's the first thing I thought about was just like even just people that I know in my personal life in Akron, like just people I grew up with or something, or my old teammates, and even some of the high school athletes I train now. Like if they was to get talked to like that, bro, I swear to God, bro.
Hey, actually, Debates, you said something about you said that they'll time you.
Yeah.
This is the most annoying thing in boot camp, man. It's 90 of us, 90 guys, right? And they say, y'all got 10 minutes to shower. All y'all.
Yeah.
You got 90 guys. So in the beginning of boot camp, they don't tell you how to deal with it. But if you don't make that time, you getting beat. So it's the same thing as you getting smoked, you getting beat. If you don't hit that 10-minute mark or whatever that they give you, you getting beat, right?
That just sounds like some type of rash that's just begging to come about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you gonna make sure you're gonna make sure you straight,
How?
But there's a system, man.
There's a system.
Hey, I'm telling you, but the first day, I would say maybe the first week, y'all not making that time limit, and you're gonna get beat every day, right? And you get so tired of getting beat for not hitting this time limit, y'all start thinking like, all right, we're gonna do it in sections. Each section got 3 minutes and 50 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. By the time you done in like 9 minutes, by the time boot camp over, you figure it out.
Ain't enough time for that water to get hot.
Yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes is kind of crazy. I think it was more like 15 minutes or something like that. But
still, bro.
I think we narrowed it down and everybody get like 30 seconds or something like that. Like,
oh my God.
Somebody ain't shower.
Hey, dudes hit 2 seconds. They like, Allen, get out, bro.
Hey, but
somebody went in there musty.
Hygiene, the most important thing, man. In the like hygiene is the hygiene is so serious. Like if say we give everybody 30 seconds or whatever, if you're not in there for your 30 seconds, lather it up, you getting called out. Get back, get back.
Get your dirty butt in there.
Did you wash the crack?
Yeah, for real.
But David, man, that's some fun times, man.
It is.
One thing that stopped me from going into the Navy for so long is because I kind of was a little nervous of boot camp, but now that I went through it, it's like I would do it again.
And it's funny because like you're in the middle of it, and when you're in the middle of it, you're like, man, this sucks. I just wanted to be over, whatever, blah blah blah. And then I get together with my friends, and I tell you that some of the biggest laughs I have is just talking about dumb stuff we got into there, or like, hey, you remember when this instructor said this to this person or made us do this, like it's some of the funniest times, So
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
I think I lost like 50 pounds in boot camp, man.
I think I lost like 80 pounds in Bryce camp.
Yeah, you did.
I need to go through boot camp.
You did.
Tell me this, and if there's nothing bad, that's great. But a lot of people, man, when they get done with something, adverse isn't the right word, is it? Is that the root
Yeah,
word
I
of
would say, I
adversity?
think it is.
Adverse times.
Yeah.
When they go through such adverse times or you know, trialing times, they change. And so a lot of times they change for the worse. A lot of times they might be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very emotionless for a little bit, or they might be a real bland. Other times they like, yo, this changed my life. Like I'm a better man, a better person. So how has y'all life changed since joining the Marshals, since joining the Navy? Give me the good, the bad, the indifferent. What's up?
So I think initially, like I said, I was confined to, I guess it's the same for divorce. I was confined to only that training environment all day, every day for, months. So, I talked to my loved ones through FaceTime on the phone, whatever. A lot of the times I was spending with my friends, studying, working out, all that good stuff. So I don't know if anything negative really came out of it. I feel like a little bit initially, I was just so excited to be done with the training and go straight to the work and put my abilities and skills I had learned to the test that initially, I started overlooking, family time, talking to loved ones, whatever. It was all about, work and do this, do that, or like, all right, I learned this way, so I got to do it this way. Uh, if that makes any sense. Like, I think I started to neglect. I was just so happy to be out and done and be doing the job I dreamt of doing. I never thought I would do this job. So I was so happy to finally get out and get going that, I had to take a step back and be like, all right, well, family time is important. I'm not in the academy anymore where 24/7 I was, about the academy, about the job all the time, So I think that was something negative, maybe you can call it negative, that came out of the job and out of the training. As far as positives go, it's like the academy, like, so as you guys know, I was in law enforcement for 2 years before. And I probably went through one of the hardest academies in the state. And you feel like you know everything, or you feel like your skills and tools are sharpened. Something positive that came out the academy is that you never can stop learning. There's always something new that you can learn, a new skill, whether it's mentally or physically. Reading, up on topics, learning more about law, learning more about people, different religions, different ethnicities, just learning about, just taking in all the knowledge you can, because I definitely got to a point where before I was like, I mean, I already got the job, with my old job, I was like, I already got the job, I'm already doing what I want, like doing something I wanted to do, loosely. I've learned everything I needed to learn. What's the point of keep learning,
Mm-hmm.
But with this job, they definitely push you to know more, learn more, because ultimately how successful you are is up to you. And I feel like a lot of jobs say that, but it's wholeheartedly up to how hard you want to work, how hard you want to study, and how hard you push yourself. So that's one of the positives that came out of this profession. You're not just doing, your day by day, and not going in there with it. You're actually gaining something by doing your day by day. So,
Joanne, make sure you timestamp that, because that's a good little takeaway right there. That's a good little takeaway. What about you, Divorce? What you learn, man? About yourself, good, bad, anything?
Man, the main thing that I learned about myself is that, well, remember when I said that I was like, when I was going through boot camp, I was the division commander over like 90 people.
mm-hmm.
So over the course of like boot camp, and even during my time now, I just learned that my voice holds weight. My voice holds weight. I'm very charismatic. When I walk in a room, I know that I'm different. I feel that I'm different. People naturally just look at me. I mean, I know I'm 6'3", but people look at, but I've learned to like mince my words. I learned to think a little bit more before I talk,
Mm-hmm.
because, when I do say something, like I said, it does hold weight. At least in the Navy, at least right where I'm at right now, my point in my career. So pretty much I've learned, I've gotten out of my shell. I used to be shy. I used to be a little scared to talk in front of crowds, nervous all the time. But now I'm not. I feel comfortable walking into rooms with 100 people and saying how I feel. I don't mind. You know, if you do a group project and if you do a group project with 10 people, all 10 people may be nervous to say something first. Now I've noticed I'm like, okay, we need to do this. We need to do this. Who wants to, you know, like I naturally speak up now. So I don't think I've experienced anything negative, but more so I've experienced like I've gotten to learn who I am as a person more so than anything.
Good,
During
man.
my time in the Navy.
Love that.
Now let's transition to the part of this episode that I look forward to the most. I want to hear, especially from D-Base with this, and I want to hear about your routine. I want to talk about your daily operations with work and with working out and stuff. But let's talk about work first. Like, how many days a week do you work, first of all?
So I work 5 days a week, 10-hour days.
Okay, so what is a typical 5 day a week, 10-hour day? What does a typical day look like for you? If it's even a typical day.
So every day can be different, depending on where you're at, you know, what section you're working in, so forth and so on. So, you know, some days like you'll be in court, you know, taking prisoners up to court to go see their judge, you know, go see their lawyers. Some days you'll be down in our Sally Port or cell block receiving prisoners, you know, making sure they are supposed to be there today for their court hearings, or make sure, you know, they need to go to another facility first, you know, whatever you got to do down there. Some days, it's funny because I'm saying some days it really varies. Like some days you'll be out in the street looking for fugitives. So if you have cases that you're working, you know, you find something good, maybe you're doing something with your case, that day. You could be called to do extradition. So for instance, Monday you could be in Italy picking some dude up, coming back on Wednesday, and then Thursday you're in court. And then Friday you're on the street looking for a dude that you're working a case for. So it truly varies every day. That
sound like fun isn't the right word. That sounds very engaging. That's the right word. Like you can't get bored. You know what I'm saying? You can't ever not be engaged in your job with a schedule like that.
Yeah, and another thing, like we're in charge of protection too. So for the Attorney General or Deputy Attorney General, so some like one day you might be like, hey, Saturday we have a little bit of overtime. You're going to go do this detail from 8 to 8. Okay, I'll go do a protection detail, whether it's following somebody around all day or just sitting somewhere. You know, we also are in charge of it, doing it for Supreme Court judges. So you may go sit at one of their houses. You know, you may go sit at their office. You know, so literally when I say day to day, it varies. It varies, especially the more senior you get within the agency. You get more freedom to kind of do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, so maybe that'd be a little bit less court and cell block duties and more working cases or more traveling for work. You know, so as far as the day to day within work, that's how it goes.
And what's a typical time? Like you said, 10 hours. So like, what's the typical like? When do you clock in?
Most days it's 8:30.
Okay.
8:30, unless something's happening, and then I may be called in to come in early, or they may be like, hey, like we got something late tonight. You can start your shift later. So
gotcha.
Very, very flexible. I think that's one of the attributes you need to have is be a flexible person, you know. So
you ever had to Randy Orton some dude? You know, Rey Mysterio?
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Okay, yeah, we can't talk about that.
Yeah, you do. Like I said, you can be sitting on your butt one day, or you can be running looking for somebody the next day, or you could be doing both in the same hours, within the same hour. So it really varies, you know.
So my next question for you, as I look at this fitness app, I see a lot of insanity. And this is what's got me the most intrigued. Okay. So tell me this. What is, if you even have one, what is your workout and diet like routine? Because because somebody I know might actually be interested in trying some of these things out. But this just seems crazy. We got 700 calories burned and strength training. We got 3 miles ran, then 100 calories burned from core, then 500 calories burned in strength training. All right. Let's see. We got a 3-mile run. We got a 5K. We got
You got it, bro.
we got an outdoor run for 4.9 miles and then 650 calories burned in strength training. 17,000 steps. Total distance was 10 miles.
That's not one day, is it? That's one day?
No.
That was throughout the week.
That was throughout the week.
That's
That was throughout the
crazy.
week.
That's still crazy though.
That boy.
And then don't get him started in the summer because I know the bike finna come out.
Oh yeah, I like biking.
So talk to me, man. I need to hear. Somebody I know might be curious, so I just need to hear it so I can tell them.
So during the time in the academy, so going into the academy, I think I was 218 to 220. Still, I would say back then I was just a little bulkier. I couldn't run the way I did now for sure, though. I don't know what I did especially at the academy because to me, we weren't doing anything physically hard every single waking moment. But by the time I graduated the academy, it was 195. I still fluctuate between like 195, 198 today. So another big thing I was doing was counting my macronutrients when I got out the academy. So my protein, my carbs, my fats. I kind of got away from that to the point where I only track my protein now. But honestly, I don't really follow like a set diet. The big thing is I don't eat out all the time. That is something I was doing before the academy, was eating out left and right. Whether it's Chipotle real fast or grabbing Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, whatever. I would say right now, Monday through Friday, I try to do a good job actually doing it between me and my wife. It's meal prepping. So lots of chicken, lots of ground turkey. I love ground turkey.
Ground turkey is crazy now. It used to be nasty. I feel like they changed the formula or something because
I don't know what they did.
Crazy. I put it in everything.
I get that 93.7 every time. Ground turkey 97. Yep.
Okay.
Right. Lots of rice every day. I'm horrible at this. I need to do better. That was one of my New Year's. I don't like doing New Year's resolutions, but that's one of the things I want to do is eat more vegetables. So I've been trying to eat a lot more vegetables. Some reason this year I discovered Brussels sprouts and never had Brussels sprouts until like this year, and I love them. But
I don't like Brussels sprouts. All like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you ain't doing it right. I used
to
not like them either, but like that's the biggest thing. Just so like I said, I eat a lot of chicken, turkey. Something I didn't realize I moved here. Some stores carry bison. I eat some bison, high in protein. I usually make burgers. Yeah, love bison. A lot of steak, a lot of steak, of course. But yeah, rice and vegetables throughout the week for lunch. Always cooking for dinner. Like as far as the diet, honestly, I try not to indulge in the bad things until the weekends. Mm-hmm. Still could probably do better than that, but like
on the weekends, you tap into your inner David Bates.
100%. I have the biggest sweet tooth ever. So whether it's ice cream, cake, whatever, I try to not overly indulge on the weekends, but I do have it on the weekends. The wife is pretty good about making like healthier sweet stuff, for me. So she'll make protein banana bread with chocolate chips in it. It's a healthier side of something sweet for me to have throughout the week.
Yeah.
Protein shakes. Maybe I'll do a chocolate peanut butter protein shake. Something to like edge that sweet tooth a little bit. But as far as dieting, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just healthier meals for lunchtime. Not eating out, dude. That's something that a lot of people don't realize is eating out really takes a toll. It adds up to the pockets and to the weight. So
the calories in fast food or not fast food, sit down restaurants too. The calories in eating out is so crazy, bro. Like I can make a fire chicken sandwich at home, and it'll be like 350 calories. You go get the same ingredients, the same contents, everything. It could be a grilled chicken sandwich. Like, it could be healthy, but still slap.
Right.
At the restaurant. And then you go home. I mean, at home, it'd be 350. Then you go to a restaurant, bro, it'll be like 750 calories. And then you got to get a side. And what they got? What they got?
Fries.
Mashed potatoes. The green beans got all types of ham hocks in it.
Ham grease, bacon in it. You know?
So you're right, man. I mean, even just in that sense, like, I don't even really go to Chipotle or, Moe's anymore, all like that, because I'm so used to eating 1,200 to 1,600 calories a day only.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's it. If I eat Chipotle, that's it.
Right, yeah, that's you blew that out the water.
I do get it sometimes though, and similar to you, Saturdays we go out to eat, and then I ain't gonna lie, for the past like month, every Monday I go get all you can eat wings at On Tap in Akron. It's all you can eat, bro, for $13, bro. I mean, they got unlimited wings, fries, and pizza. I just be going crazy. So I do that twice.
Right, you still gotta have your comfort food. You still gotta have the food that makes you happy. So
yeah.
Right.
The one thing I've been trying to stay away from is sugar, though. I know you said you got a sweet tooth, but I do too. I mean, it's bad. And for me, I still, and I hope some people have made it this far on this episode that kind of keep up with my fitness. Cause like nobody's perfect. Like for me, like to this day, if I eat something sweet, my mind literally shuts down and I start telling myself things that's not true and I can't get out of it. Like I'll tell myself, if I eat something sweet, I'll literally tell myself like, oh, the day's chalked. You might as well get the rest of the stuff that you love. And I'll literally eat bad all day. I did that actually this past week because it was National Counselors Week. And Janelle had got me an edible arrangement. Chocolate covered strawberries. Man, that sweet, it just kicked in. I said, yep, it's a wrap. I might as well go this. I was eating anything in sight. I ate a chocolate muffin. I ate a donut, 2 donuts. So that's why I just stay away from it completely. Like I already know how it tastes. That's my mentality 90% of the time. But sometimes I fold. So what about the working out, man? Because I said when I be seeing this, bro, I was first of all, you probably weren't competing with me, but I was competing with you when I was losing weight. And I was thrashing you for a little bit because I was working out like crazy. But you done stepped it up for sure. Like burning 2,000 calories in a day is crazy. I've never done anything like that unless it was like I was a football player. So it seems your workout schedule seems to be unorthodox in the sense that it doesn't seem to have a true plan. So just tell me what you do, because like I said, somebody might be interested.
So before I get on that, did you see what I did yesterday? Is it what I did yesterday on there?
Let me see. No, your watch must have been dead. No, that was today. Yesterday still. Yeah, it's wait. I'm not reading this right. I'm not reading this right. What is this, bro? You ain't do this, bro.
Yeah, I'll expand on that at the end, but because we're training for something, so I guess that's the only thing I'm actually training for. But
yeah, talk about it. I need you to talk about it. I need you to talk about it.
But as far as like the working out goes, I really don't follow any specific plan. I try. So I'll say my overall guidelines is I try to do at least 3 runs a week. So I would try to do 2 short runs. So that's 3 to 5-ish miles. And I try to do like a 7 to 8 mile run once a week. Depending on time. I like to do it in the mornings. So something that really motivated me to run.
So we talking about 7 to 8 miles throughout the week or like one time?
So that's my long run. I try to do 3 runs, like 2 short runs and 1 long run a week.
Wait, time out. You do 1 run for 7 miles?
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's something that I didn't ever be able to do. As running is almost therapeutic to me. I like throwing my headphones on, whether I'm listening to a podcast or listening to music, and being here in the nation's capital. You wake up early to run. There's nobody outside. You never really see the city when it's not busy, not the hustle and bustle. You know, when I wake up early to run, I usually try to be out there like 5:30, 5 o'clock before like traffic and like everybody starts to get out. It's quiet, it's peaceful. You know, you get to see all the monuments before they get packed, get the nice sunrise, whatever. So I'm not saying that's what necessarily motivates me, but that's one of the major perks that I love is seeing, you know, the city before everybody else wakes up. You know, you get that advantage to, you know, have that for yourself, you know? So, but like I said, I try to do 3 runs a week or some type of cardio a week, 3 times, if not more. I lift pretty much every day, Monday through Friday. Me and my friend go to our local gym before work at 5 o'clock when it opens. We usually work out for like an hour and a half. So typical, like, you know, you got your leg day, you know, you got your back and buys, you got your chest and tries, your shoulders, you know, so we break those muscles up throughout the week, you know, hit core. But like when I tell you it's just no like set plan. Like, you know, if I might wake up tomorrow, I'm like, you know what? Before I go to sleep tonight, I'm like, you know what? I might run tomorrow. Let me check the weather. Oh, it's gonna be 60 something. It'll be an awesome day to run. So I might end up running more some weeks than I plan to. Some days I might end up running more than I plan to, you know? It's just like what I can get in when I have the time to get it in. But I definitely do something every day. Every single day I do something.
Even on weekends.
You know what?
So weekends, Saturdays.
Because you be giving me with that every single day.
Yeah, Saturdays it varies. Sundays almost it's exclusively a rest day. It's some type of stretch, and that's pretty much it. Like I stretch on the living room floor, watching TV with the wife and the dog, or something of that nature. So
do you stretch every day? I need to get better with stretching.
So you know, I told you I don't like doing New Year's, you know, goals, resolutions, whatever. So that was one of the things that I want to do this year is stretch more. So I try to stretch for at least like 15 minutes every night. Does it happen every night? Absolutely not. But but I try to hit some like, you know, of the main stretches every night before I go to sleep, you know, before I settle in. So, but that's definitely something I can get better at.
So I got a question, bro. So I can't get over these 7 miles.
Now,
Now,
you got to see what I see. But go ahead.
I know. I want you to tell us, but when you're running like those 7 miles, because I remember we had a conditioning test when I was at Temple. We ran 32 110s, which is 110 yards. And that was like the most enjoyable exercise I ever had because I was on a runner's high.
What Soldier Boy say? Huh? I hated them 110s, bro.
It was the most enjoyable experience, bro. It was so relaxing.
Transferred to Temple because
it was
been
we ran them
over there. No,
Hegs, no, you bugging. We ran them in 19 seconds, 18 seconds. I did mine in like 16, 17 that day because I just felt so good and relaxed. Like I didn't feel nothing. My legs, I didn't feel like I was running. I was just going, coasting. Do you feel that when you run your 7 miles? Like, it's like a stress relief for you? Or is it like peaceful? Because I need a rational like answer for these 7 miles.
7 miles is crazy.
Yeah, I would say like the first, you know, 1.5, 2 miles, like you're kind of like warming yourself up a little bit. So you may feel like the strain of the run a little bit more. And then after a while, you kind of like just get in that runner's zone, start feeling that runner's high. And just get into like your little runner's mood or whatever, you know, your music's playing, whatever, and the miles kind of just fly by after that. Honestly,
so in my base, I used to out of boot camp, I would say, you know, for the first 2 or 3 months out of boot camp, I was in A school. Every Saturday, I would go and run 10 miles. I would do it once a week, but that's when I was like super in shape. I think I got out of boot camp. I was like 204 something. I looked unhealthy, right? But I used to do that, and that makes sense because I would hit, let's say the first 3 or 4 miles. I say by mile 3, I feel like I'm struggling, and then something happened at like mile 5, I get a second wind or something like that.
It just kicks in.
Yeah,
but it's not even, my legs never get tired. It's my
breathing,
my chest, my, you know what I'm saying? Right. I think it's that, what is that called? I think that's called a second wind, second breath, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's hard to explain unless, like you said, you felt it yourself, and like, why am I getting all this burst of energy all of a sudden? It's I think it's a real thing. Sometimes it can be like the music I'm playing. A good song comes on. Next thing you know, like you look at your watch, you run a little bit faster than you're supposed to be running.
Big
You
bro,
know,
Bryce get on. It's like, yeah, let me get my second win. No.
But yeah. So I mean, as far as like the working out, like I said, it's just like I try to keep consistent of those 3 runs, lifting every day. Uh, you couple that with eating how you should be eating, or eating what I try to eat. That helps me maintain my physical fitness. And it's
So
funny because like saying this out loud, like I don't want people to think I think this is normal to me. I think it's just a normal lifestyle.
it's not.
It's
And
not.
it's funny. It's funny because I didn't realize that until last night when I was telling the wife. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do Bryce's podcast tomorrow. Whatever, blah blah blah." I was like, "Yeah, they want to talk about my workout regimen." I was like, "It's normal. I don't understand why they want to talk about it." And before I can even finish, she's like, "It's not normal. It's not." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "No, it's not normal at all. I keep telling you that." I'm like, I don't know. I think it's just I don't know. I built a habit. I guess that's where it's at with that. But sorry.
So a couple more. Just a couple more questions. So I just need to clarify. So 3 runs a week.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
But you
Minimum.
live Monday through Friday, like straight.
Yeah. Every day.
How long are those lifts? Like we talking like 30, 40 minutes?
Hour and a half.
Okay. So
Yeah.
hour and a half in the weight room, getting it in.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you burning 600 calories. I see now. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I burn about half because I'm in there for about half that time, 30 to 45. Okay. Then we look so 3 days a week running. So are we talking after the lift you go run before work?
So depending on the work schedule, I can sometimes. Recently, it's been when I get off work, I'll go run. So I'll lift in the morning, shower, go to work, and then once I get off, depending on time, some days you may have time throughout your work day, but I'll go and then run my couple miles, usually after work though. So there's a gap in between there.
And then one more question.
Mm-hmm.
When you do a lot of outside running,
I only do outside running, by the way. I don't run. I hate running. Absolutely hate running.
What's your temperature threshold?
Oh, like how cold I would go out? Had to be super motivated, but I think the coldest, I do I do all my lifting with my friends. Same thing by running most of the time here at work. Coldest we did was like 25 to 29 degrees.
That don't get you. You know what I'm saying? Nah. That don't have you coughing for the whole day. That don't.
Your lungs definitely be feeling some type of way. Like I said, after a while you break through. Honestly, like you end up peeling off layers. Like I feel like I have the tendency to put too much on. And then, as I'm running, I'm like, all right, I'm starting to sweat a lot. I'm starting to get very hot. So either I'm pulling off a hoodie or I'm taking off the hoodie and pulling off one of my long sleeve shirts. Always got to have a hat on though when it's cold. That's like the main thing you got to have. Gloves too. I lost my gloves, so I've been having to lug it out and not wear gloves. But yeah, that's like the threshold for as far as how cold I'm willing to run in. I gotta really want to run though. Like usually anything like 35 and above, I'm fine. Like I don't care. Like, but anything under 35, I gotta be pretty motivated to.
Do you get sick? Ever?
No, I honestly haven't gotten sick from doing one of the runs. That I can remember.
I was hoping he said yes.
As far as like hot, I don't know. I haven't really experienced a crazy hot day here in DC, so haven't had to deal with that much. Georgia was another animal as far as heat goes, but yeah.
So we at that point where Bryce Harris is declaring a challenge. Okay.
Hey, you talk about what yesterday was yet?
No, we're gonna get to that. No, we're gonna get to that. But I want to say my challenge. And I'm gonna ask about that because that was my next question. But I'm declaring a challenge. I mean, at this point, I'm not satisfied. I'm always chasing for more. So I think it's about that time that I try to work out and live like D-Base for 2 weeks. I'm gonna do it for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be able to do it way easier than you think.
So how do we do this the right way? Okay, I ain't running 8 miles. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go right into that. So Divorce and David, the two guys that have distance ran mentally, y'all know I'm mentally strong. All right. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about that. How far do you think I could start off with? 3 miles, 4 miles, less?
I feel like you can do like a 4 miler.
I'm saying it'd be tough, but like, yeah.
For the 3 days, like a week, 3 to 4, I feel like you could do.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is like don't like overdo it because you start getting shin splints or anything like that. And it's important to have a good pair of running shoes as well. You definitely make sure you got a pair of running shoes.
Yeah, I think you can. I think it would depend. It depends on how. Like, so when I'm running distance, I haven't done it in years, man. I haven't ran more than like 5 miles in so long. But if it's anything like David, I trot. I don't run 10 miles. I trotted 10 miles. You know what I mean? You know, like what galloped.
Like what pace?
Like galloped, probably like held a
Galloped is crazy.
Held a steady. I don't know. Like,
are we talking like? Have you ever seen David Goggins jog? He don't really jog for real.
Yeah, like that. That's how I.
Yeah, he goes straight hill.
I've done my distance. Like I'm not running. I'm not running for time. I'm just running to like keep moving. You know. So I would say if you're putting in a treadmill perspective, probably like a 5.2.
Okay.
Maybe, you know. But if I'm really trying to run for quickly, once again, sometimes I use a treadmill. I'll say like if I'm really trying to run and trying to get a good run in, probably like I do like a 7.2.
Okay, that's a good pace.
If I'm trying to keep a good mile time.
Right.
But when I'm doing distance, probably like a 5. Enough for me to talk, breathe good. You know, listen to music, you know, do whatever, you know. So
say less.
I mean, you in shape, Bryce. I mean,
all right, yeah.
But bro, slow it down. But all I do is lift and hoop. Like I don't run. I don't do that.
No, don't underestimate hooping though.
Yeah.
I hoop.
Underestimate that one.
I get that hooping in. So like that's all I do. I don't do no running. We don't do that.
So I was running the other day and I used the Nike app, and you can get a person that talk to you. It'll say, okay, Divorce, slow down. It'd be like, slow down for 30 seconds. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, speed up for a minute. Yeah, so you probably don't need that, but I found it pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So we got three runs a week. Okay, well, I'll start with 4 miles. 4 miles. And then I lift 5 days a week. So I could lift. So sometimes I gotta lift on the same day as I run. Okay.
Yeah.
And then really my diet probably don't gotta change because it sounds like we eat about the same thing. Yeah, I'm down. I'm ready for the challenge. What you think, Joe? You gonna join me?
You got it. No, I'll do it. I definitely will. I'm just like when you start at 4 miles, I'm gonna start at 400 meters and then work my way up. You feel me?
Right, that's another thing. You don't gotta necessarily run. Like there's other ways. Roll.
No, we doing it. If we gonna do it, we gonna do it the right way. You know what I'm saying?
All right, say less.
Because
rolling's cool too.
But see the pressure on you too, D-Base, because I'm really finna I ain't gonna lie, I'm finna start screenshotting our days. Like you finna be like, you know what I'm saying? All of that's getting documented. So 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, I'm gonna live like D-Base. What time you sleep?
Ooh. So
that's the part that's gonna break me.
So in reality, I feel like I probably don't sleep as much as I should every night. So with that being said, I wake up, my first alarm clock goes off at 4:15. And then obviously
so that's what I gotta do.
Obviously, I probably don't wake up at that one. Realistically, my second alarm that goes off.
I need realistic. Because I get up.
4:35 is when my second one goes off, and that's when I actually like time to get your tail up, you know, and get moving.
Right.
And then usually I go to bed. I try to be laying in bed before 10 o'clock. Usually it's at 10, and I'm usually knocked out by the time I hit the bed. So,
Bro, I might not be able to
10:30.
intermittent fast with this schedule.
10:30, I'm out. So,
What time you eat breakfast? Do you eat anything before you go out and work out?
so usually I eat a banana before I go and do any type of workout. I'll drink like some electrolytes or BCAAs. After my workout is usually when I actually eat my breakfast, and usually it's just like a bagel. I have a protein shake every morning after whatever I do, whether it's run or lift. I have a protein shake, and then like I said, a bagel, protein bar, or just another banana.
But we're gonna have to link up. You and me, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to call you, and I'm gonna have to get your whole schedule. I'm gonna stop intermittent fasting for 2 weeks. I'm gonna do it. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna live like D-Base. I'm gonna live like D-Base. I'm fully bought in, Joe. I'm telling you, I'm fully bought in. 2 weeks, we're gonna see what happens. So
I think you can do it.
Good for you, bro.
So that's what I'm doing.
Good for you.
Now let's talk about that 10-mile thing that I saw, and then we'll cut the episode. Well, what did I see yesterday, bro? Please.
So have you guys ever heard of rucking before?
No.
I'm sure divorce. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So divorce, you might be able to explain rucking better than I can. I don't know if you want to try. I know you guys doing the military thing primarily. So
well, ruck is just it's essentially like a backpack. Did your rucksack have water?
So no, I just had my water bottle in it and then the weight in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So a rucksack is essentially like a backpack. It got weights, it's weighted. It's almost like you just running with a weight vest. But rucking itself is just it's going a long distance. Like it's not like a normal run. And typically you have, like he had his water. Most rucksacks have
like the feeding
you
tube,
know what?
right?
It has a tube coming out the back, and you can just drink water while you're running or hiking or whatever. You know what a camelback is? Camelback?
Yeah.
Bryce? You know what that? It's just like that essentially.
Okay.
But the back it's a weighted.
Got you.
Yeah. So me and two of my other friends, we went on a ruck yesterday. So there's this event that I don't know why they asked me if I wanted to do it, and of course, you know, my buddies are doing it, so I was like, oh, of course I'll do it. But in May, I believe, we're doing this. It's a Go Ruck event. It's a Go Ruck 50 miler, where I think the time cap is 20 hours. Starts at 9 p.m. It starts at 9 p.m. and you got to ruck 50 miles in under 20 hours. I believe it's 20 hours. But so we're preparing for that. So that's the only thing I'm like really training for per se.
And it's a hike, or is it like straight almost? Because like 50 miles is like crazy. 50 miles is almost like to Columbus from where I'm at.
It's more
with a way to back.
It's just a hike through the city. You know, they give you different waypoints. You know, you got to go here and here. And, you know, you can pick your route you take basically. So we've been preparing. You know, we decided to ruck as a group yesterday. That was the longest one I've ever done, was the 10 miles. I did mine with 35 pounds. We just rucked around DC, you know, for fun. I think it took us like 2 hours and 40 something minutes to do 10 miles. We did ours in boots. So I was wearing a t-shirt, shorts, and boots with my rucksack on. You know, I think we stopped maybe 3 times, use the bathroom, drink water. You know, we were going at a fairly like slow pace. I think our average mile was like 15 and some change. We are going to attempt to go faster than that, but you know, obviously training up to that pace, it's going to be a while. But yeah, so that's what yesterday was. We went on that 10-mile ruck around DC. You know, took a couple hours, but it was fun. You know, just talking, enjoying the views, listening to music. You know, while rucking or walking with your friends, basically. So in essence, it's pretty much what it is.
Just good vibes on a Saturday. Just good vibes.
You couldn't find anything else to do on a Saturday? 10-mile run and some boots, huh?
Yeah, 10-mile
run. Good vibes. He talking about, we just vibing, just having a good time.
We just vibing, sipping our water.
No, for real, it was actually a pretty chill, fun time. So,
you bugging.
But yeah, so we're preparing for that 50 miler. We'll see how it goes. It's in May. So we'll see how it goes. But
That's dope, man. That's dope.
yeah.
I'm jealous. I
Hey,
wish
y'all-
I wish I
y'all
had friends
amazing,
like
bro.
that because my friends just want to start nonprofits and stuff. Like that's so random. My friends want to do YouTube podcasts and stuff. I'm trying to run 10 miles or walk 10 miles with 1,000 pounds on my back, like jeering.
Yo, I
Okay.
can't wait to see this challenge, bro. Because you hate running. Ooh, I can't wait.
I've been rubbing my knees this whole conversation. I'm not gonna lie. And my knees haven't hurt in years or in a year. It's been a whole year since my knees have hurt. And I've just been rubbing my knees because I just can't stand running, bro.
I have not a doubt in my mind that you're gonna knock this out the park. So
We're gonna see, man. We're
I
gonna
think
see.
you'll be fine.
I appreciate your confidence. All right. I got confidence in myself too, but I got a little bit of doubt, just a little bit. So as we close, D-Base, tell me, man, where do you see yourself in 1 year? You could be as broad or as detailed as you want.
I don't know. Hopefully, move up the ranks within the Marshal Service. Continuing to work hard, and maybe get a little bit more responsibilities as I gain seniority within the agency. Who knows what the future holds? There may be some avenue that I never thought about that may open up and spark my interest. So right now, it's kind of hard to tell. I know some things that I want to do. I keep those close to my chest until I figure out if that's exactly what I want to do when I get to do it. So of course you guys will be the first one to hear about it. As being my closest friends. So
What if Drake wanted you to be a security guard?
I don't know if I would be willing to give up my job right now to go be Drake's security guard. I'm not gonna
Y'all heard that? Marshal Service, y'all heard that? This guy is loyal to the soil. Get him right. All right. Get him right. Now, another
Drake?
question. What advice would you give? You can answer it however you want. You can either answer for yourself or for another kid. But what advice would you give 17-year-old David or a 17-year-old kid?
Ooh. So a lot of times, doing the right thing, whether it's studying instead of partying or, taking care of your responsibilities before you take care of the fun part of your day of your life. Sometimes that can be draining because you see other people not making those same decisions. And it's like you wonder if those decisions are the right decisions at the time. You're missing out on all the fun things, fun experiences, because you're wanting to take care of business first. So sometimes you think, that may not be the right decision, but I can tell you right now, it definitely is worth it. Keeping your nose clean, staying out of trouble, getting good grades, studying, finding a group of friends who, are dedicated to the same values as friends that, get good grades. It's nice. I don't know why kids think it's cool to not get good grades and do all the I mean, I'm not explaining there, but just doing the dumb stuff that they do. But I feel like if I could give the kids advice, just stay on your path, where you want to go, what you need to do to be successful. We hear adults tell us things all the time when we're kids about, lessons they've learned. So who am I to not take the lesson that they learned and, adapt it and do it? Why would I learn that lesson myself and put myself behind, That's something that I learned from my dad is that, he always told me like, hey, I learned this lesson the hard way. Let me teach you this. That way you don't have to learn this lesson yourself and waste your own time. So, I'd rather take those lessons, run with them, not waste my time to get to where I want to be at. That may sound a little confusing. I don't know if you guys see what I'm trying to say, but
that was great.
Basically just keep grinding, keep doing what you're supposed to do and what you need to do to be successful.
Integrity, man. Have that integrity. Y'all know what to do,
yes.
Especially y'all kids. Y'all know what's right and what's wrong. Y'all making those choices on a daily basis. All right. So make sure we choosing right.
100%. Keep your nose clean.
Let's do these 15-second takeaways and cut the episode. D Allen, you ready, man? You got something that you want to share?
Oh yeah. Just everybody just stay persistent. Persistent and consistent is almost the same thing, but persistent means that you'll keep going in the face of adversity. So just stay persistent every day.
Absolutely.
What about you, Joe?
Since we got someone in the Navy, I want to say a Navy quote that I heard. Under pressure, you don't rise to the occasion. You sink to the level of your training. And I think that's really important because you guys, it's important to establish good habits because you're going to fall back to your routine and the thing that you know the most. So understand that you really need to train your mind and understand that pain is temporary. Anything that you're going through right now, after you're done with that moment, that hour, that minute, that run, you're going to go right back home, watch TV, and you're going to feel just fine. So I'm not going to give you the cliche of what kill you make you stronger, but you're going to come out better training your mind to be prepared for those situations that's going to occur down the line again.
D-Base, what about you, man? 15 seconds.
Oh, and you put me on the spot.
Give me a takeaway. Anything from anything that was discussed today.
So I would say where you're at now, you may not be satisfied with what you're doing, where you're at mentally, emotionally, or just your standpoint in life. I still like this. I still feel like that to this day. I think me and Bryce talked about this the most in college, feeling that you should be somewhere in your life, But trust me, like if you feel that way, that means that you're grinding to get to where you want to be at. And eventually you will achieve where you want to be at. Just keep grinding, keep doing what you need to do and stay consistent like Divorce said.
Period. My 15-second takeaway is a little off topic. I was actually just talking to another friend. I'm not going to specify, but I was talking to another friend in AC yesterday about this. And D-Base, you talked about your wife a couple of times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just keep this in mind for the fellas that might be listening to this podcast. Not all men in this world are kings, right? But D-Base, I feel like you are a king. I feel like all of us are kings, right? Not everybody's kings, man. Like, honestly, like some people don't deserve that title, in my opinion, the way they live, the way they act, how responsible or / irresponsible they are. But if you're a king, you deserve a queen, right? And D-Base, you got that, man. You got a queen. And I think that all kings deserve a queen, not a princess, right? So sometimes these kings are chasing princesses because they're pretty or they look all so beautiful, but queens handle business. Queens are also pretty and beautiful. They used to be princesses, but they've matured, they've grown up, and they are a great, great, great company to a king because they handle their business and they also know what type of responsibilities and things that they have to hold on their end. So just make sure that you got a queen on your side, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Don't chase the princess. The princess looks for handouts. The queen looks how she can hand out to others. All right. So every king deserves a queen, man. And I just hope and pray that all y'all have that for yourselves. Because I know I got me one. I know D-Base got him one. All right. So that's my takeaway. Well, it's time to climb. It's time to climb. And I mean that, I guess in a literal sense, because D-Base here hiking 30,000 miles. And
right. 5 years from now, he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm going on a sprint around the world.
at some point, it's gonna be, we're gonna get him back on. He's gonna be like, yeah, a lot of them, what's the flight called, D-Base?
Flight. Oh, the J-Pass flight.
A lot of them, they go on the J-Pass. I just meet them down there. I be running.
I just jog.
I just be, we'll go from like Ohio all the way to Mexico, and then we'll go to Bahrain and see Diana on the way back. Yeah. And I just jog
in some boots.
And then I'll swim, wrestle a couple sharks. But nonetheless, man, I appreciate y'all being on the episode, man.
Appreciate y'all having us.
It was a pleasure, man. I definitely learned a lot. I hope y'all did too. So just like that, keep climbing. You know what I'm saying? Success is at the top, right? It's always at the top of the mountain. And guess what it's not doing? It ain't rolling down. So we got to climb up and go get it. All right. Just like that. Love, peace, chicken grease, all of that. Keep climbing. We'll see y'all later.
I believe it isn't. They say the clouds is high. They swear the moon is far. Don't be salty when you see me. Go all the way to the stars. You in the sky, I reach for the stars. You in the sky, I reach for the stars.